Hello everyone, and welcome to the 9th episode of Township Tales with Tasha.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you.
We're excited.
I'm here with Juan Ramirez.
That is my name.
Thank you for taking the time to meet with me. And to start out, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, like I said, my name is Juan. I originally from Colombia. I moved here when I was 14 with my family. We lived in Vancouver for about a year, then we lived in Victoria ever since, mostly in Esquimalt. I'm an engineer by trade, software engineer. That's what I do for a living. And I started doing graphic design about 10 years ago.
That's
so,
awesome.
Yeah.
And also, he is a musician. We're just going to pan over here.
Yeah, I do that on my spare time, whenever I get a chance.
Can't wait to hear it. So you've embarked on a new artistic journey. Why don't you tell us about this new technique that you've been working on?
Yeah, I've been working on this for about 4 or 5 years. And the idea kind of came from just whenever I go on vacation, I take lots of pictures like everybody else does. Mm-hmm. And I was looking to do something with them. And I kind of stumbled on this new technique where I'm able to, I think because of my software background, able to sample the pixels of an image and then kind of use virtual stickers that I can use to create whatever I have in my head. So the idea was to take a bunch of photos from a vacation and then build an artwork based on those photos. So yeah, I call it pixel sampling, and it has kind of led me to this new idea of capturing people's life events into an artwork. And this new technique or this new process I'm calling non-volatile memories. And it comes again from my background in engineering. Non-volatile memories is what your phone or your computer uses to keep memory when the power disconnects. So the idea was I can take all the photos that are sitting in your hard drive collecting virtual dust and create an artwork that you can put on your wall and doesn't need any power to bring you the memories. So
the way you explained it, for me, because I have no background in graphic arts at all, was a little bit tricky to understand. So why don't you show us one of your pieces?
Sure.
And then
I would love to.
It's just really amazing what you do. Let's pan over.
Set up.
Okay.
How's that?
Good.
All right.
So here is one that Juan has done recently.
Yes. So this was done last October, and this was commissioned by a local couple here in Esquimalt, and it's called Lover's Trail. And they contacted me after an art show I did with Ika in the summer, and they said, we have all these photos from our wedding album, and we really want to do something with them. Can you do something? And I said, yeah, of course. So I met with them. They're wonderful people. And they told me about their story of their wedding, how it happened. And they gave me all the photos and said, go make something. We don't want to see it until the end. So about a month later, I was able to come up with this. So the idea is that 100%, almost 100% everything you see here came from their photos. So once I meet with them and I do the interview, I find out what really made their wedding. And one of the questions, for example, that I would ask is, if you have one memory that you could keep from your wedding and everything else gets erased, what would that be? And that really gets the gist of their wedding and the things that they really want to capture. So for Christine, the wife, she said, well, my husband sung me this song during the wedding and it was really special to me, and I want to capture that somehow. And I said, okay, great. So, and same with the husband, he gave me another memory, and I start building this composition based on all that stuff. So for example, all the blue colors that you see came from the husband's grandmother, who has then passed away, sadly. She had this beautiful bold dress that stood out in all the pictures that they had, and I said, well, I have to do something with this. In all their photos, you know, where they were outside in Stanley Park, and it was a beautiful day. So I said, I need a nice sky. So her dress gave me all the different blues that you see here.
That's beautiful.
I'm able to sample each of those pixels and then, you know, start putting things around. This little bush over here is actually her bouquet, which she was really fond of and she wanted to capture somehow. The sun is the window in the tea house in Stanley Park where they got married. The guitar is obviously the guitar. One of the important things that they said is that they didn't want it to be a wedding photo. They didn't want to feel like when someone came over their house and they saw this, oh, that's a picture of your wedding. So they had a lot of conditions that they gave me, a lot of limitations, which was, we don't want to be in the picture. We want it to be a conversation starter. We don't want people to think it's a wedding photo. And one of the challenges for me was, I want you to be in the photo. I want you to be in the picture somehow. It's about you. You need to be there. And damn it, you're going to be there somehow. And what I did was, you're going to be there by not being there at all, by your absence, your negative space. So their ceremony, they walked separate, and then they met in the middle, and they walked together towards the altar. And that's what I captured here in what I made the guitar neck. It's actually those bushes in Stanley Park. And this little space here is the outline of her in her dress as she's walking to meet Robert right here. So again, they're not really there, and only if they know the secret, then they can find out. So same with, I wanted to capture when Robert sang the song. And then, so this is the top of the head of Robert as he's singing. That's then his shirt, the neck of his shirt. And here's a little piece of paper that he was holding as he was singing that song. You know, all those little dots here are actually the first 5 chords of the song that he sang for her. So this is what I mean about this non-volatile memories. It's not just one photo that kind of shows a particular moment in time. It's the entire life event that happened that day, captured in one piece that you can put on your wall, and then it can stand on its own. But once you know all the little keys and secrets, you can enjoy it a lot more.
Absolutely. Yeah, when I first came and looked at this, I never would have picked out all the things that you had incorporated. And you haven't even told us all of them. No,
there's lots. There was 14 photos that were used. And, you know, all those little streaks and, all, you know, the background color is her wedding dress. But, yeah, those little birds here were actually made from the clips that were holding her dress when they were adjusting it before the wedding. This little plain here looking thing is actually the binder that the commissioner was holding as he was performing the ceremony. So through the interview, I find out all these things because I don't know what's important to them. I don't know what it was like to be there.
Yeah, what stood out to them.
What stood out to them. So I have all these questions in this process that I go with them, and then we review the photos after. I never look at the photos until I do the interview because I don't want that to kind of pollute my head in any way. So I do the interview without looking at any images, so I can start building something in my head just from their words and, you know, their mannerisms and the way they sit down, the way they smile. And I always enjoy asking them, when was the last time you went through these photos? And usually people say, we've never gone through these photos ever since we got married. And then they just sit there and then they reminisce about their past, and then, oh right, that happened. Oh right, that happened too. So there's all these wonderful memories that people forget that they had. And now there's a way for them to see it again every time they walk by their house.
That's an incredible idea. Yeah. And like you said, what a great conversation starter when you...
Yeah, I think so. That was right there in the first email. It's like, that's what we want a conversation starter. So I hope they got that. They're very happy. I think that the best thing that I got was Christine's sister messaged me, and she said, because she's actually in here by pure accident, really, which is another thing I do. You know, usually with everything's done digitally, and usually when people do digital art, they want to be as perfect as they can. They call it pixel perfect. But I kind of embrace the other way, where I treat the computer as this co-creator, and I let the computer do whatever it wants to do in terms of like picking. I say, oh, pick this kind of color. But I'll pick a bunch of pixels that are not related to the area that I was looking at, but then I'll say, oh, it kind of looks cool. I'm going to use that. So she's actually right here, this little kind of, it's kind of hard to see probably in the video, but there's a little bit of a curl, just curly hair. And I didn't know who she was at the beginning. And then what I did, I realized at one point was, I better go and ask them about these pictures that I'm going to use in the final work, and ask them if there's anybody in here that they wouldn't want to have or you know, maybe there's an ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend.
Just in case.
Yeah, because, you know, like, it's going to be there forever. And I want to make sure there's nothing that would upset them or give them a bad memory, right?
Yeah.
So I asked them, who's here? I said, oh, that's my sister. I said, okay, perfect. I'll leave that in there. So she messaged me and she said, you know, we love the concept. This is great. And it's going to become a family heirloom. Oh. So that's the nicest thing ever that someone said to me. So, yeah, I'm very happy that the whole family is happy with it.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
Wow. So, tell us, what is it about design that you initially connected with?
Yeah, so it was about 10 years ago, and it came from, again, my background is engineering, and that is just a way to use math and programming to solve practical problems. And I watched all these documentaries on design, and what these designers were saying, well, it's just a different way to solve problems. And that really intrigued me. This way of, it's not just numbers and code, but it's paint and, you know, pencils and, you know, pixels to solve a practical problem. Mm-hmm. And with this new series of non-volatile memory paintings, I found a very practical problem that I can solve with art, which is to capture people's events. So that's kind of where it came from. That's what really attracts me to it, is solving problems with symbols. That's how I see it.
I really love what you're doing.
Thank you.
What is your favorite thing about our community?
How supported it is. I think like that's been the number one thing ever since I moved here, is whenever you try to do something new, there's someone there to like encourage you, either financially or with their words, or, you know, like you're doing right now. So there's a good support group wherever you go.
Yeah, I've noticed that as well. Mm-hmm. And is there anything you would like to say to our viewers?
Yeah, just keep doing it. Like, you know, I never thought I would be here after 10 years. And then I've gone back and looked at the first things that I've done, which, you know, now that it's painful to see. But, you know, the little by little, it accumulates. It's like interest in your bank account. You know, you start saving money little by little, and after a while, you have $1 million.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, lastly, what local business would you like to nominate next, and why?
Oh, I'm gonna nominate one that I love their food. Is this Spice Valley India Cuisine place on Esquimalt Road? Yes. Oh my God, best tikka masala ever. Ooh. Go there.
I don't think I've tried that yet.
Oh, it's so good.
I'm all over that.
Yeah, that one's really good.
All right, well, thank you so much, Juan.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Likewise.
Stay happy, Esquimalt.